This is the adjustable bed frame that finally made late-night reading and early morning back stretches feel effortless. The real benefit is how smoothly and quietly it moves without fighting against a thick mattress or waking anyone up. It fits into the adjustable base category, the kind that replaces a traditional foundation and lets you control the head and foot positions with a remote. It is best for people who want better pressure relief, better breathing when sleeping, or just a more comfortable way to sit up for a show, a book, or a laptop. If you are dealing with snoring, reflux, or sore legs after a long day, being able to dial in a small elevation can make a noticeable difference. If you simply want a bed that adapts to you instead of the other way around, this hits the mark. Design-wise, it looks like a piece of equipment rather than furniture, but that is a good thing here. The frame is solid steel with a reassuring weight to it. The deck has a grippy fabric that lightly grabs the bottom of the mattress, and there are strips that feel like soft hook material that add just enough hold to keep the mattress from creeping when you move the head up. At the foot, there is a retainer bar that keeps the mattress from sliding forward when you are fully upright. I have tested that with a thick hybrid mattress and an added topper, and the bar did its job every time. The power cord is longer than I expected, which sounds minor until you try to route cables cleanly. I had no trouble reaching a wall outlet without running an extension cord. Under the bed, there is enough clearance for storage bins, and the legs feel stable with no wobble when you sit down hard on the edge. The remote is simple and familiar in the best way. You have separate buttons to raise or lower the head, separate buttons to raise or lower the foot, and there is a button that runs both at the same time if you want to glide into a kind of zero-gravity posture. The buttons have a soft click and respond immediately. There is a tiny light built into the remote so you can see where things are if you need to find it in the dark. I normally dislike extra gimmicks, but this one ended up saving me from fumbling with my phone flashlight at night. There is also a one-touch flat button, which I use constantly when I get sleepy and want to drop back down without thinking. Setup was straightforward. It comes mostly assembled, folded for shipping. I took everything out, flipped the base carefully, attached the legs, and plugged it in. I put batteries in the remote, and it paired without any fuss. If you are doing it alone, plan for lifting the frame in stages because it is heavy. With 2 people, the whole process was quick. I would budget around half an hour at a calm pace, a little more if you are also lifting a large mattress. There were no squeaks or loose joints after assembly, and I did not have to go back later to tighten anything. Day to day, the experience has been quietly satisfying. The motors have a low hum that is softer than the sound of a small desk fan. Movement is steady and controlled, not jumpy. From flat to a comfy reading position takes only a few seconds, and going all the way up for a full sit feels confident without straining. Lowering back down is equally smooth. When you press both head and foot to move together, the base keeps them in sync so you glide rather than seesaw. The frame stays exactly where you leave it, even if you shift around on top. I tried getting in and out while the head was raised, and there was no creaking or flexing. With my thick hybrid mattress and a topper, I noticed a small gap near the lower back area when I sent the head all the way upright with no one on the bed. The moment I sat down and leaned back, my weight pressed the mattress down to match the base, and the gap disappeared. That is normal with thicker beds, and the grippy fabric and the retainer bar helped keep everything aligned. If you use a thinner or more flexible foam mattress, it hugs the base even more closely. Either way, I did not have issues with the mattress trying to slide off the frame. Let me talk about performance in the situations that actually matter. Reading and streaming at night, I raise the head just a little past a lounge angle, then lift the legs a bit to take pressure off the lower back. It feels natural and supportive, and I do not need a stack of pillows behind me. On nights when my sinuses are acting up or I can feel reflux creeping in, I bump the head up a small amount, barely noticeable when I am half asleep, and it helps. After a long day standing, I bring the feet higher for a few minutes to get that light floating sensation and reduce ankle pressure. For quick naps, I hit both buttons and drift into a weightless feel that makes a 20-minute break feel longer than it is. Responsiveness is where I was pleasantly surprised. The remote never missed a press, even from across the room, and the base reacted immediately. There is no delay where you wonder if anything is happening. Because the movement is linear and predictable, I can make tiny corrections to find a sweet spot and then stop without overshooting. The motors are quiet enough that I can make those late adjustments without worrying about waking someone. The frame also handles heavier loads well. I piled on a quilt, a thick topper, and that heavy hybrid mattress, and the base still rose and lowered without sounding stressed. A few small criticisms. There is no smartphone control or voice assistant tie-in, which I do not need, but some people will want that. There is no massage feature, which you might expect on higher-end bases, though I prefer the clean approach. The remote buttons are not backlit, so you either learn them by feel or click the little light to see. Depending on your bed frame, the retainer bar at the foot might be visible, which is not the most elegant look. I also wish there were side retainers or a slightly stronger grip on the deck for very slick mattress covers. None of these are deal breakers, but they are worth noting. I tested a variety of daily scenarios. Morning stretching with the head slightly elevated made it easier to sit up and do a light hamstring stretch without straining. Working from bed for an hour with a laptop was surprisingly comfortable because I could raise the feet a bit and keep my lower back neutral. Watching a 2-hour movie, I never had to adjust more than once because the initial angle stayed supportive and did not sink or flex over time. When I accidentally bumped the remote off the nightstand, nothing changed because the buttons need a deliberate press, not a brush, to actuate. In a pretend power outage test, I pulled the plug while the bed was raised, and it stayed in place safely. Plugging it back in brought everything back to life instantly, and the position was unchanged. One specific use case that became a habit is late-night reading. I used to prop myself up with 3 pillows that slowly collapsed, which forced me to hunch and twisted my neck. Now I raise the head to a comfortable angle, lift the feet just enough to tilt my pelvis, and the pressure on my lower back disappears. When my eyes get heavy, I press the flat button, set the book down, and the bed quietly settles me flat without making a big production out of it. It sounds basic, but it genuinely changes how easy it is to wind down. A few smart touches deserve credit. That small light in the remote is a thoughtful fix for a very common annoyance. The long power cable made setup cleaner. The way the base moves both sections together feels considered, not just 2 motors happening independently. The frame itself does not flex or ping, which tells me the welds and joints are solid. Most importantly, it has been consistent. After months of use, the noise level and speed have not changed, and there are no new rattles. To wrap this up, the L300 adjustable base does exactly what I hoped a mid-tier adjustable frame would do. It lifts the head and feet smoothly, holds a thick mattress in place, runs quietly, and makes everyday routines more comfortable. If you are looking for a base to reduce snoring or reflux, to ease leg pressure after long days, or to make reading and watching shows feel natural, this is a strong choice. If you want phone apps, underbed lighting, or massage, you will need to step up to a different model. But if you want reliable motion, a sturdy build, and a remote that just works, this delivers without fuss. I recommend it to anyone who values comfort and control over extra bells and whistles, and to people who want a base that plays nicely with a wide range of mattresses, including thicker hybrids with toppers. I will leave detailed information about the LUCID L300 adjustable bed frame in the comments for your reference. Thank you for watching.